This just in, welcome to CES 2021 week. This is Kwaku, and this first video here, Microsoft today announced the 85-inch Surface Hub 2S. They also announced an Xbox controller, the new Series S, Series X Xbox controller, but this time in red. And they also announced a third thing, the Surface Pro 7 Plus, only for enterprise and business. So let's jump in and talk about it. So right off the bat, you're going to see in front of you here that the Surface Hub 2, or the Xbox wireless controller, if I can even speak, we have it here in, it says Pulse Red. It's a pretty dope color. In fact, if you know me, you know that my colors are pretty much this color. And so I will definitely be picking this up in February. I think it comes out February 9th, I believe. I will definitely be picking up. It was just announced by Navin Kumar. Not really much to say about it, only that it is red. So it's all red and with the red Xbox logo. In fact, you can see it right there. It's got black accents on the top for the triggers and the shoulder buttons. And then it's got black for the D-pad, an interesting looking D-pad. It is the Series S, Series X one. It's going to come out for $65 USD. So stay tuned for that when it does come out. It comes out starting February 9th for most Xbox markets. And starting tomorrow in China, it's coming out immediately. So China first, and then later on we'll have the rest. And here's just a quick video on that controller right there. It's 15 seconds long. So you can see the details. It looks pretty crispy like this. It looks clean. Like, look at that. The triggers look sharp. Everything looks good. I can't wait to get my hands on it. I want to start this new generation kind of collecting controllers. I feel like that's going to be my thing. So we got that. Next thing up, we have the Surface Pro 7. We have a new Surface Pro 7. This is, I'm looking at DigiTrends right here. Microsoft's new Surface Pro 7 for business comes with removable SSD and LTE. So you see that right in front of you. Removable SSD, just like the Surface Pro X, where you can remove the SSD, and then you got LTE as well. So I'm sure it's also going to come with, I can't tell whether this is also the area where you would remove the micro SD card slot, or if they got rid of it. I'm not sure. I haven't had a Surface Pro in a long time, since like the second generation one, or Surface RT, so it's been a while. But yeah, so you got that, and basically this lines up with all the leaks that we saw back last year when I talked about we had leaks of a new Surface Pro. So we basically have LTE support, removable SSD support, and in fact in some of the pictures, where if I can find it, there it is. So in some of the pictures here, you see where you can actually remove the SSD. It's a little slot, you pull it out, it's a small size SSD, so you can find that, you can pop a new one in, expand the storage. It's for business only, so it's not for consumers. You can't buy it just like at your local Best Buy or online. You have to kind of go with an enterprise agreement, and you can buy hundreds of them. And I think the idea behind this that I've heard is that businesses obviously like to have similar form factors. They like to not have to keep changing their accessories for the hundreds of devices that they have, because they have a ton of accessories for that device form factor. So rather just being able to upgrade the device minorly, is good enough for them to keep their device in the loop of being used. Like my old community college, we had Surface Pros, I think Surface Pro 6s for every student for the cybersecurity group that I was part of. So you can do that. It's got no Thunderbolt. It's got a bigger battery. It's went from a 46.5 watt hour to a 50.4 watt hour battery right there. Including, it says internal parts including the thermal design model, as well as the placement of boards, were changed due to the swappable SSD from The Verge. 15 hours is a modest improvement over the 10.5 that the original Surface Pro 7 has. We also get a bump in processor. It goes to 11th gen Intel processor. Just like in the leaks, it no longer has an i3, and it no longer has 4 gigabytes of RAM. It starts off at a i5, and it also starts off with 8 gigabytes of RAM, which is solid. It says the Core i5 and Core i7 models will also include Intel's new Iris Xe graphics here. It says i3 model. Okay, so the i3 model is available, and it ships with a Intel UHD graphics, like the baseline graphics. So you have an i3, but you still get 8 gigs of RAM regardless across the whole board. You just get i3, i5, i7, but they're all 11th gen. Going on further, it says for the first time since the Surface Pro 5, officially known as Surface Pro, LTE connectivity will also return, so we'll get LTE back on the Surface Pro line starting this Surface Pro 7 Plus. I think this kind of leads into the whole 5G revolution that people have been like talking about, that there's really not much going on with 5G yet. It's all infrastructure stuff based right now, but I think this is where we're going to start seeing Surfaces kind of adopt that kind of style, you know, once we get full run 5G networking. It says here the mid-range Surface Pro 7 Plus model Core i5 will come with LTE options powered by Snapdragon X20 LTE modem, and it won't support 5G connectivity just yet. The pricing will start at $1150, which is pretty dope. And then the last thing here, this is from On Microsoft. We have the new 85-inch Surface Hub 2S, and basically this is a 4K 85-inch Surface Hub. Back in 2019, we had a 50-inch Surface Hub 2X, and now we get a 85-inch one, which is pretty solid. I can't afford it because it's like $20,000-$30,000, but it's amazing. The weight has been reduced by 30% to 210 pounds. See the massive setup and unboxing of it right there, which I'm not going to play. And then we have a 4K Pixel Sense display, which is what Microsoft calls their displays, Pixel Sense. It comes on all the surfaces out there with anti-glare that supports up to 20 simultaneous touch points. Basically, that allows two people to manipulate the screen at once, so that if you're presenting, two people can touch the screen and do stuff, because, you know, 10 fingers each, assumingly. It comes with a quad-core Intel Core i5, 8 gigabytes of RAM, and a 128 gigabyte SSD, and it ships with Windows 10 Teams 2020 update. And it supports Microsoft Store apps. It can replace with Windows 10 Pro and use it as a regular Windows 10 PC as well. And that'll start shipping later this month as well. It's available for pre-order today from various resellers, and unfortunately, it's going to be almost $22,000. In fact, it's going to be exactly $22,000, $21,99.99, $21,99.9. Yeah. Microsoft's blog seems to have some issues this month, but you can find some more information on Surface Hub 2S on the IT Pro blog from Surface. But yeah, that is it. That is a quick run through of what Microsoft has come out with on day one of CES. It's not really a part of CES, but it was something that they had to, of course, say right as soon as CES starts, which of course they are pretty much the main sponsor for making it all virtual this year. We have a lot of more other things for CES coming out, so stay tuned and take care, everybody.